No lie, yesterday I think I wore a hole in my cell phone screen, or at least scuffed it up pretty badly with all the refresh swipes I inflicted on my poor Pixel. Every 5 minutes, another swipe. Studio Wildcard had said they were hoping to share a more precise Xbox launch by the end of the week. It has to be coming, right? And we saw nothing. So surely they must have saved it for the community crunch. 8 p.m. rolls around and... Welcome back to the channel. It's LtBuzzLitebeer, and there's still some Ark news to get through here today, including Big D. The Dreadnoughtus Titan Killer Dossier is finally here. Completely unexpected, Turkey Trial is back, and we need to talk about the delivery platform. An upcoming CurseForge Ark Town Hall in just a few days' time, and then, stepping outside of the crunch, a recent article from PC Gamer discussing Ark Ascended, so stay tuned for that one. Thanks again for your continued support for my Ark News uploads. In case you haven't done so already, hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive the latest in Ark News. Likes, comments, shares are of course greatly appreciated. Chapters are in place for this one, and let's dive into the latest from Ark. All right, in anticipation for last night's Community Crunch, number 387, and by the way, link can be found to this one in the video description. Anyways, as I was saying, in anticipation for that crunch, I posted a Twitter poll, and there was a choice there for the Dreadnoughtus Dossier, which I kind of thought would be showing up, and by far, it was the least favorite option on that poll, but here it is in all its glory. Touted as a colossal creature capable of taking on the Titans of Extinction, which should be interesting to see for sure, Big D is capable of carrying the largest of platforms with artillery into battle, hence the name Dreadnought after the all-big gun battleships of the 20th century. Dread is capable of swallowing boulders and or cannonballs, which can then be sent shooting out at targets, of course, all coated in stomach acid, and I wonder what's going to happen to the frame rates during the battles with all of this going down on screen. Dread also seems to be able to absorb a ton of incoming damage, which it then uses to power up its element disrupting bellow. Now, no human-sized comparison for this one, like we've seen in previous dossiers, but Dread looks to be on the scale of something like the Titanosaur, and only picks on creatures of certain sizes, ignoring anything smaller than a Spino. Now, I can't really tell, but is that the Ice Titan there in the dossier? And if so, that gives us a pretty good indication of what we're looking at in terms of size for Dreadnoughtus. Switching over to consoles, and it was pretty much a copy and paste job of this week's earlier delay announcement showing up yet again. Technically, we have not reached the end of the week, just the end of the work week, but nothing new mentioned here about Xbox or PlayStation, so no dates, no expectations on when the next announcement should be coming, which, and I talked about this in my last Ark video, and maybe it's a bit of a hot take here, but good job Wildcard for not throwing out yet another "Hey guys, expect a follow-up in a few more days' time, we promise" message. In fact, I wouldn't have even reposted this earlier delay announcement, just something to the tune of, "Hey survivors, we know you want to be playing Ark on console, and we want that as well. Xbox is proving a challenge, as is PlayStation, yada yada yada, and we're going to keep you updated along the way with exact certification challenges, and expect a confirmed release date once we are comfortable releasing the announcement and the product to the public." I mean, that took me all of 15 seconds on a first draft, but hopefully you understand the tone and messaging there. Quite unexpected to be showing up in this week's crunch was Turkey Trial. As with the way Ark is going in terms of releases and delays, I thought for sure we would be seeing Winter Wonderland as the first event, but hey, the murder turkeys are getting a limited trial run on, well, it doesn't actually say the exact platforms here, but I'm going to initially say Steam PC only. Set to go down on November the 28th, what makes this one a bit more interesting is the deployment, which is via a mod through CurseForge. From the way this one reads, it looks like the event will run for a limited time on official, but unofficial, hosted, and single player can run the event year-round if they choose, just requiring a patch to the mod itself instead of the clients. Now, I don't know how well a year-round turkey server would go down for the community, but hey, you never know. Anyways, the trial will include the scavenger hunt, genetically modified murdered turkeys, and of course, your chance to craft your very own turkey costume or ugly sweater skin, in addition to some new turkey trial goodies. It looks like CurseForge is doing their absolute best to getting close with the Ark modding community, although I haven't seen any updates from Dreadnoughtus as to if Nitrado has responded to full mod map capabilities. Let me know if anyone has seen an update on that one, but CurseForge seems to be sponsoring an Ark Town Hall on Monday, November 20th, so in 2 days' time. Kind of last-minute announcement here, guys. And it is slated for 8 p.m. UTC plus 2. So let me do the time zone math conversions for you. UTC is plus 5 hours to East Coast plus 2, so that's 7 hours. So Monday at 1 p.m. EST in the U.S. or 10 a.m. PST. The agenda includes a breakdown of what is Overwolf. Yeah, I've talked about that one in the past. Their vision for Ark, which is to make money, tools overview, what's next, and an open Q&A session at the end. So, if you're at all interested in modding for Ark, what goes into it, how Overwolf operates, here's your chance to check it all out for yourselves, although they state the meeting invites will be shared closer to the event, and I don't know how much closer you need to be than 2 days before sending these out, but I guess they're going to start arriving sometime soon. And finally, the normal weekend official bonus rates are in effect up until Monday. PvP and PvE 1.5 times across the board. Small tribes, which I've been reading about nightmare stories coming out of that side of Ark, 4 times across the board, with 3.5 times isolated to breeding. And Arkpocalypse is 4.5 times across the board. The Community Corner finished this one up. I'll let you check it out for yourselves. Big congrats to anyone who made it in there with their submissions. And then chat started lighting it up towards the bottom of the crunch, mostly to do with no news for consoles. All right, I broke this down in my last Ark video, and by the way, link to my full Ark playlist can be found in the video description, but next week's going to be difficult to make anything happen for an Ark console launch, as it is abbreviated with Thanksgiving here in the US and time off. Who knows for sure, though? You would think that if Wildcard was ready to launch on Xbox, rumors aside that Series S is holding them back, they would have loaded up some launch date info into this crunch, and as I have covered, it's simply not here. So, there's more than a strong chance we are looking at the week after. So that's November 27th through December 1st, which, by the way, overlaps, at least for right now, with the late November launch slated for PlayStation 5. And from all the evidence currently available, previous delays, track record for Wildcard, etc., all of the console releases, at least to me, look like they're going to be pushed back into December. Now, I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to see Xbox, Windows, and PlayStation join in the Ark shenanigans on the island, but I'm just not seeing much here to give me confidence that anything other than more pushbacks are going to be happening. Which is a perfect transition to the major culprit with Ark Survival Ascended, lack of performance. And we got this recent article from PCGames. Ark Survival Ascended PC performance is prehistoric. Love that title, by the way. It's been a rough launch for the newly released Ark Survival Ascended, and there have been no meaningful updates to improve performance as of yet. Now, PCGames just goes right in on Ark Ascended with this following statement. Shadow dropping a game is seen as the ultimate act of confidence. Here is the game, it's ready, and we didn't feel the need to hype it up. However, with Ark Survival Ascended, it feels like the sentiment is flipped. Perhaps it's a case of the game not being ready, but having to launch and doing so with incredibly poor performance on PC. And we've spoken about the Nitrado loan in the past. It must launch by October 31st on PC, repayment clause, and the state of the game at launch and how it continues to this day. And so, to be clear, PCGames did all their testing on a GeForce 3070, 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM, and an Intel i7-11700F. So, it's not top of the line, but certainly competent components here, I mean, well above average, and their testing exposes the PC performance. Quote, despite the Ark Survival Ascended system requirements, painting the picture of a game that should run at 60 FPS on high settings at 1080p on our testing rigs, we got no way near this level of performance. In fact, we can only push above that 60 mark on global low settings with DLSS enabled, and even then, the game is calamitous. And so they're doing all their testing and laying down their benchmarks at 1080p, only hitting 60 plus FPS on global low settings with DLSS on the quality setting, commenting that even though they were above 60 FPS with these settings, the game felt and looks a lot more sluggish. I've said this in the past, even on a 3090, I saw wild performance issues. I've since upgraded to a 4090, and it should not take a $2,000 plus GPU to handle Ascended on epic settings, especially considering all the UE5 tech under the hood that is designed to lessen the strain on the system. Now, of course, I'll leave a link to this write-up for you as well in the video description. And interesting to note that PCGames then goes on to make recommendations to alternate survival games that tend to run much better on PC, such as Sons of the Forest, Valheim, Scum, Conan Exiles, Rust, and Ark Survival Evolved, to name a few. All of this, of course, leads back to Snail Games, those boasted 600,000 plus copies sold for Ark Ascended on Steam PC, but without the full picture of how many players paid for this new Ark experience and refunded out after they saw the huge PC requirements and just how poor the game ran on less than military grade rigs. Which begs the question, if it runs like this on PC, how's it going to run on console, especially Series S? Now that is going to be an interesting launch for sure. So that's probably enough for today. Make sure to sound off about anything Ark related in the comments section below. Remember to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Likes, comments, shares are greatly appreciated. All my socials can be found in the comments section below. Shout out to the now over 180,000 of you that have stuck with me and hit subscribe. And a special thanks goes out to my Patreon supporters and to those of you sending over those much appreciated YouTube super chats. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.